Want to hear a story?
Yeah.
So I upgraded my CPU recently, last weekend.
Nerd talk.
Yeah, it was, let's just say, basically I planned horribly. Or like, I planned for certain things, but I didn't plan for the other things, if this makes sense. So I have been running a 9900K, which is just a type of CPU. This is nerd talk right now. And I've been having to edit a lot more H.265, which is just a type of codec for video files. And that CPU was kind of built before Intel started trying to optimize for editing H.265. It was during the H.264 days. And I had to finally upgrade. So I went to Micro Center, more nerd talk. And I got a 39700K, got a new motherboard, and also got like a different SSD for like my boot drive or whatever. And I go to install it, all that part was good, even though I was nervous about, because I was reusing my cooler. So I was nervous about like, cleaning off thermal paste and reapplying it. That turned out to be the easy part. So whenever I originally was setting up, like I was creating, for Windows 11, I was creating a USB for it. And this is kind of like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Foreshadowing. I downloaded the installer on it. I was just like, all right, cool. So then I went ahead and changed everything out, put the new system in, plugged in the USB drive. It kept going to the BIOS and it wouldn't roll over to the Windows installer. So I'm like, I guess I maybe did something wrong. Or maybe it's just not reading this flash drive. So I was like, okay, let me just, be Galaxy Brain and use my old Windows 10 one. So I did that, install Windows 10. And then I noticed it wouldn't let me select a network. I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just, once I finish installing Windows, I'll just add it in on the settings. Little did I know, it turns out technically 13th gen supports Windows 10, just not very well. But the motherboard I have, the drivers don't support Windows 10. So the network, I couldn't connect to any network. So I couldn't use it to upgrade to Windows 11 to actually use my new system. So I'm just like, okay, what the fuck did I do wrong with this flash drive? Then I looked it up. Oh, you don't just download the installer, you actually run through the whole thing on another PC to basically put Windows 11 on that flash drive. I had just put the exe file on there.
Yeah.
So of course it wasn't reading it because it needs the actual thing to be fully done on it. I'm like, shit. I start trying to think, what can I do? I was like, saying the network drivers don't work. What if I just plug directly into the router with the Ethernet cable? Of course that didn't work, but I'm just trying anything at this point. So I'm like, shit, I need to run this exe file on this flash drive. Well, here's the problem. The only PC I have is the one that I just upgraded. And when I try to run the exe program on that computer that I have that doesn't have network drives that work, it says, oh, it can't run it because there's no network drives. I'm like, fuck. So I had to start thinking, I'm like, okay, I don't have any other PC. So then I'm like, do I want to download fucking like Wine on my MacBook to try to run it on there? Like basically partition my drive to do a whole Windows thing on there. But I don't want to deal with this shit. But and then I look at the time, it's like, fuck, the library's closed.
Couldn't you just re-enter your old motherboard?
That would require me I didn't want to deal with all that. Okay. So then I just had to go, fuck. So I went to my parents' house where they had PCs and then just finished everything there. But I was like, God damn it.
So you drove?
So I drove an hour and just stayed the night there and got Windows 11 installed and had to reinstall my programs. Here's another thing, if you use Resolve, that I didn't realize is if you're changing computers, you're supposed to create a backup of your database. Otherwise, you lose all your project files. So I lost all of my project files. Like you can find the project files, but the problem is there's some database file type that is more like a sub-database of your actual database. But when you change computers, you can't get that database file unless you create a backup of it. And I didn't find that out until I started looking on forums. where all the elite fucking nerds are, and they're basically just shitting on you for not doing it correctly. It's like, you should have read page 46 of the manual where it talks about this. It's like, fuck you. I don't even read IKEA instructions until I fuck up. Until I get to the end and realize I did it wrong. You think I'm going to read the instructions for some damn software?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we're up and running, but I lost all my project files, which pisses me off.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
Another reason why I don't like Resolve.
Okay, fucking Adobe's shill over here.
But yeah, that sucks. Sounds like a tough time, Evan.
I don't like the way you just said
I'm
that.
glad you overcame that. Wow.
I don't like the way you're saying this.
Do you need to talk about it more?
Can you stop talking that way? I feel like I'm being spoken down to.
But yeah, that sucks. I had plenty of trouble whenever I changed parts of my PC.
Well, it's like the biggest problems come when you're changing up motherboard and CPU.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem comes down to the fact of, hey, we're kind of like in this weird time period where there's Windows 10 and Windows 11, and it only really supports certain things.
Yeah.
So like a 12th and 13th gen are really only designed to work with Windows 11 because of how their architecture is, like P cores and E cores and all that. And only Windows 11 has the controller for that. But yeah, it was a frustrating weekend.
Yeah, I definitely would have just re-entered my old PC. I'm about to drive an hour. That's pretty far. How far is it from here? It's closer here though. It's closer than Denton.
It's about the same, honestly.
Really?
Maybe not like actual amount of miles, but like the amount of time it takes because of traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. You're at that 121 highway.
121 is a fuck pain in the ass.
It's backed up.
Fuck 121. Well, that's not even the worst part. 183 is. Fuck 183.
Yeah, I don't touch 183.
Well, I have to use it to go home. To go to my parents' house, I have to go that way.
Yeah.
Or I would have to try to jump on, go backwards to go to George Bush and go down to 30. But I'm not going backwards to go forward.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
But yeah.